Hey everybody, welcome back to the Prismatic Pearl. It's Sam. We're gonna continue chugging along with Ecclesiastes. The deeper you get in Ecclesiastes, the more it feels like Proverbs, which I think is very interesting. It's like Solomon was kind of refining his literary style because Proverbs is all about the wisdom and everything. It's the bird in the hand is two in the bush, right? It's like those quick, easy sayings that you kind of work through in your head. Your grandparents may have told you, and you're like, oh, I wonder what that means. And later you're like, oh, I get it, right? So Ecclesiastes 10, we'll just jump in. As a dead fly gives perfume a bad smell, so a little folly outweighs wisdom and honor. The heart of the wise inclines to the right, but the heart of the fool to the left. So this is talking about like favor versus like ineptitude, right? Um, or like it doesn't take but just a little bit of messing up to ruin a good thing, right? I apologize. I'm kind of unkempt. Yeah, I just got off work, so I'm kind of I need a shower really, but you know what? We're gonna keep moving along. So I got the bad smell here. Let's see. Even fools walk along the road; they lack sense, and show everyone how stupid they are. But if a ruler's anger rises against you, do not leave your post. Calmness can lay great offenses to rest. Yeah, I kind of feel this. In the military, everything's about your post, right? Stand your post, orders to the century, all that stuff. Oh my goodness. But yeah. I mean, your orders to the century is take charge of this post, all government property in view. Leave your post alone, properly relieved, things of that nature. But I've been around the block enough to know that when something is about to go down, when something is just really like somebody made the officers mad, or somebody ticked off Gunny, and Gunny's about to make everyone on shift know that he's mad. Just laying low, just being like, hey, good to go, Gunny. Whatever we need to do to get this right, we're gonna do it. Um, just lay low, do what you got to do in the moment. Don't. This is not the time to prove, how good or bad of a Marine you are. Right. This is it. This is the and just by like sitting there and doing your job, they're gonna show up and they're gonna be like, well, there's nothing really to mess with here. Logbook seems to be in order. Uniform squared away. I think I'm just gonna go mess with somebody else. Like, I really feel that, right? If a ruler's anger rises against you, don't leave your post. I'm not sure if that's what that means, but I've definitely lived through my fair share of experiences in that regard. One thing we would do, there's there's this kind of thing where I'm not sure if people still do this. It was probably not good when I did it, but so we would have barracks inspections, and basically that gives the NCOs carte blanche to just go in your room and like mess with whatever's out of order in their mind. And if you had messed them up, or if you had messed up that week or something like that, and they just had something against you, you better make sure your stuff is squared away and tight. Your bed has got your hospital corners, your rack's got the lock on it. It's, everything zeroed out. Like all your locks had to be zeroed out. You better make sure that your microwave does not have a spot in it. No trash can liners in the trash can. No ice in the freezer. If you know, you know. Okay, like somebody's gonna hear that and they'll be like, "What is he talking about?" I'm telling you, yeah, they're gonna like they will literally go in your freezer and be like, "Hey, Marine, why is there ice in your freezer?" Because there's an ice maker in it, right? That's what you want to say, and then you just get totally roasted for having ice in your freezer. God forbid I live in this place you've issued to me. No trash in the trash can, not even a liner. Yeah, white glove inspection, all that stuff. What we would do is we would mix everything with heavy bleach. I'm talking about like water with straight bleach in it. And just before they got in, like about 10-15 minutes prior, we would freshly mop the floors. We would wipe everything down with that heavy bleach solution. You know, because you're only supposed to do like what, 10%, maybe not even that, maybe like a lot less. But anyway, it it was hard to breathe in the room. All right, I'm talking about like we're gassing ourselves out. But when the NCOs come in, they really don't. I mean, their eyes are burning the same as yours. They don't want to be in there any longer than you are in there. They might even say like, "Hey, you know, good job, Marine. It looks clean in here. It smells clean." Yeah, you better believe it smells clean in here. There's nothing that's surviving on that surface. Yeah, like sometimes you'd have to go above and beyond just to avoid getting messed with in the military. Let's see, and it's all about military bearing, keeping your bearing. Don't overstep your bounds there. But you know, some of the military guys watching might really relate to that one. If there's an evil I have seen under the sun, the sort of error that arises from a ruler, fools are put in many high positions, while the rich occupy the lowly ones. Of course, you know, like it's not necessarily about monetary prowess either, because you know a lot of the fools in positions of powers are exorbitantly rich. They're, but at the same time, like you know, you're talking about the rich being people of actual merit, actual you know societal value. They're doing good things. They're you know, why can't those people get in the positions that they need to be in, right? Or we feel like they need to be in. Um, let's see. I've seen slaves on horseback while princes go on foot like slaves. Whoever digs a pit may fall into it. Whoever breaks through a wall may be bitten by a snake. Whoever quarries stones may be injured by them. Whoever splits logs may be endangered by them. So you know, there's kind of there's a hazard in anything that you do, right? There's a little bit of inherent danger to whatever you got going on. I'm sure the deeper meaning there will come to me eventually. Okay, so here's your invite, right? Your invite is if you are hearing me read this and I don't comment on it and you have something really cool to add, go ahead and throw it in the comment section. I want to hear what you have to say about this. Like, I'm not reading this to just say, hey, I know everything about this. I'm reading it for you to be able to engage and see me struggling with this and just be like, hey. And of course, maybe one day I'll like get into study notes and stuff. But I just kind of want to casually walk into this, right? So if the axe is dull and its edge unsharpened, more strength is needed, but skill will bring success. If a snake bites before it's charmed, the charmer receives no fee. Words from the mouth of the wise are gracious, but fools are consumed by their own lips. Have you ever heard that saying? Don't quit while you're or quit while you're ahead, right? Or quit while you're behind, whatever. However that works. At the beginning, their words are folly, and at the end, they are wicked madness, and fools multiply words. So have you ever just seen somebody that just talks and talks and talks and talks ad nauseum? They know everything. They you can't teach them nothing. They've got it covered in terms like that, and they just, you know, not too unlike me right now, but they just talk and talk and talk and talk, and they just showed themselves for what they are the whole time. No one knows what is coming. Who can tell somebody else what will happen after them? I know a guy. Um, the tool of fools, or the toil of fools wearies them. They do not know the way to town. Woe to the land whose king was a servant, and whose princess feast in the morning. Blessed is the land whose king is of noble birth, and whose princes eat at the proper time, for strength and not for drunkenness. So this is interesting because you think of like our modern sensibilities are like, oh, kings and royal succession. Come on, dude. But that's the mark of a healthy and prosperous kingdom. Like, people actually like their king. They don't mind they don't mind what they're doing. They once they hear about stuff, they're like, yeah, this we have a good king, right? His sons were excited for them to take over. Things of that nature. There's a leadership aspect there. Like, it's the mark of leadership if you're in good hands and the kingdom is running well, and there's no need for a regime change, right? I want to go back. The snake bites before it's charmed. This is a kind of a remark on, like, apply wisdom at the appropriate time when necessary. If you go in a little too early, you might mess up something. We go too late, the snake might bite before it's charmed. So, or if you just misapply wisdom, you're not going to get the rewards that you're looking for. Let's see. Through laziness, the rafters sag. Because of idle hands, the house leaks. A feast is made for laughter. Wine makes life merry. And money is the answer for everything. Do not revile the king even in your thoughts, or curse the rich in your bedroom, because a bird in the sky may carry your words, and a bird on the wing may report what you say. I'm not sure if this is like a literal thing, like, the king has secret bird spies. I've held I'm not sure if this is the right place to do this. Let's see. Yeah, birds aren't real. So this is somebody's gonna be serious about this. I think this is like an elaborate joke. I'm not sure though, but basically the conspiracy theory goes that all the birds actually died in like the 60s and 70s, and the government replaced them with sophisticated spy drones. um so maybe this is maybe these are if you like this content, support this, and I'll buy Birds Aren't Real merch just to wear them on stream. How about that? If it flies, it spies. So this is exactly literally what that means. The bird's gonna take your I'm kidding. Take your words back to the king. But no, it's more of the concept of like even in your thoughts, the bird's gonna read your mind. I think it's just, don't degrade the prosperity of your nation, because the king is the symbol of your nation, right? So he's got a lot of stuff on his mind, so give him grace. I think about this like today in modern politics, like we got a lot of crazy stuff going on all the time, and I'm thinking, like, how does like think about how much news that you try to keep up with, and then think about all the stuff that the president of the United States is hearing at 24/7, or like somebody in Congress or somebody in, like imagine all the stuff that they're hearing and dealing with, and whatever they know is like way deeper than what you know, right? Because they got top secret clearances, they got all the reports and the briefs and this and that, right? Like, dude, give them some grace, because I'm not saying agree with everything they do. I'm definitely not saying that, but I'm saying like, hey, think about the situation and what you're criticizing, because at the end of the day, whatever we're going through as a nation, whatever the king or the president or the Congress or whatever they got going on, you want them to be successful, in at least prospering the nation, because you live in the nation, right? You want those blessings, so don't throw them away so easily. Um, let's see. Invest in many ventures. Ship your grain across the sea. After many days, you may receive a return. Invest in 7 ventures. Yes, 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. So, like, don't put all your eggs in one basket, is basically what he's saying. Not financial advice from me. Financial advice from Solomon, maybe, but not for me. If clouds are full of water, they pour rain on the earth. Whether a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where it falls, there it will lie. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. So, they say the Bible isn't scientific, right? I mean, he's literally describing things that's pretty deep science, right? Clouds full of water. But yeah, I mean, this is like, take action. If you know the situation, take action, right? Like, don't sit there and wait for good fortune to come. You have an active role in that. Let's see. As you do not know the path of the wind or how the body is formed in the mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. Very based. Sow your seed in the morning, and at the evening let your hands not be idle, for you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether they will both do equally well. So, like, don't sit there and do nothing. Like, get to work. Like, do multiple things. Get very skilled at different things. Let's see. Remember your Creator while young. Light is sweet, and it pleases the eyes to see the sun. However many years anyone may live, let them all enjoy them all. But let them remember in the days of darkness, for there will be many. Everything to come is meaningless. You who are young, be happy while you are young, and let your heart give you joys in the days of your youth. Follow the ways of your heart, and whatever your eyes see, but know that for all of these things, God will bring you into judgment. So then banish anxiety from your heart, and cast off the troubles in your body, for youth and vigor are meaningless. Now, I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but meaningless essentially the word for that is havel. It means basically formless or something that you can't grasp, like the wind, right? In fact, he says, he has a quote earlier, chasing after the wind, he says over and over again, right? But, that's the thing. It's, if you have anxiety, this is kind of an interesting comparison, right? Compare and contrast. If you have let's see, follow the ways of your heart and whatever your eyes see, but know for all these things, God will bring you into judgment. So I'm not sure if you read any of the other books in the Old Testament, but judgment does not seem very fun. Judgment seems very scary, perhaps. Very serious matter. So the fact that God will bring you into judgment, if you are, not on your P's and Q's, if you're not given given the right praise where it needs to be. If you're making idols and you're, not following the 10 Commandments or whatever, um, mind you, this is Christ concealed. They don't have the blood of the lamb that's washed them, right? They don't have baptism. They don't have all the stuff that we Christians take for granted. Like, God's judgment is a really big thing to the Israelites. Go read Exodus and you'll realize, hey, there's a lot going on here. That being said, to follow, God will bring you into judgment so then banish anxiety from your heart and cast off the troubles of your body. That's kind of a hard thing, but I mean, this basically means, rely on the promises that God has given you. This, that's a really tall order, right? Because if God's bringing you into judgment, you better be squeaky clean. So, this is kind of one of those things where, you can read Ecclesiastes and you'll be like, okay, well, life is meaningless, so might as well eat, drink, and be merry, right? Might as well just do whatever we want. Might as well do this and that. And the ultimate point is, yeah, all that stuff might be true. You could do all that stuff, but there's another aspect here. He always seems to follow up with an eat, drink, and be merry by something relating to God's judgment, or therefore, like in the previous Ecclesiastes, he goes, therefore anoint your head with oil, and let's see, let's go back and find it. Yeah, always be clothed in white, always anoint your head with oil. That's basically saying, hey, like, mind your P's and Q's. Like, don't sully what's pure, right? The white is the purity, right? Anoint your head with oil, so you're walking in the Spirit. You're doing the anointed things, right? You're following the ritual, the law, and all of that nature. So then it's kind of a constant. There is a good life to be had, but there's also like judgment to be considered. So therefore, what's the therefore? Therefore is, hey, follow the law, follow 10 Commandments, follow the laws of Moses at this point in time. But also, like, for Christians, what can we take out of that? I think it's, you go to, let's see, I wish I could type. Oh, shoot. Well, I mean, let's look at from a First Corinthians standpoint. Ooh, I went too far. I have the right to do anything, you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by anything. So you say the full of the stomach and the stomach for the food for the stomach and the stomach for the food, and God will destroy them both. The body, however, is not meant for sexual immorality. How this turned into sexual immorality, but look, by his power, God raised the Lord from the dead, and he will raise us also. Do you not know that your bodies are members of Christ himself? Shall I then take the members of Christ and unite them with a prostitute? Never. Right? Think about that, right? So, I mean, this kind of fits perfectly in that, right? You have all this freedom to do all these things in your life, all these pursuits that you can very freely take. But at the end of the day, you got the judgment to consider. You got some important things to figure out. How am I going to live this wonderful, prosperous life? And the ultimate thing is to give it to God first. right? God's going to give you a lot of freedom to do a lot of things, but give it to him first. Let him be the lens in which you decide what to do. And I think that's going to be a really cool lesson that I'm going to draw from that. All right, so if you enjoyed this, like, share, subscribe, put it wherever you see it, share it wherever you see it, share it with everybody you know, everyone you've ever met in your life, anybody who needs Jesus. Let's get this thing moving, guys. Let's comment, let's share, let's subscribe. Do it. All right, peace.